President Trump responded to the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, the Washington Post journalist who was killed by Saudi Arabia. At least that's what's overwhelmingly likely. So let's see what he had to say.
I would not be in favor of stopping a country from spending $110 billion, which is an all-time record, and letting Russia have that money and letting China have that money, because all they're going to do is say, that's okay, we don't have to buy it from Boeing, we don't have to buy it from Lockheed, we don't have to buy it from Raytheon and all these great companies. We'll buy it from Russia, we'll buy it from China. So what good does that do us? There are other things we can do. Khashoggi is not a United States citizen, is that right, or is that right? He's a permanent resident, okay. We don't like it, John. We don't like it, and we don't like it even a little bit. But as to whether or not we should stop $110 billion from being spent in this country, knowing they have 4 or 5 alternatives, 2 very good alternatives, that would not be acceptable to me. Okay, but we're looking for the answer, and I think probably you'll have an answer sooner than people think.
Trump oftentimes says out loud the thing that other politicians try to conceal. Like, he just kind of lets it out like, oh shit, was that the part I was supposed to keep quiet? So, I mean, look at what he's saying there. He's admitting it's all about the military-industrial complex. It's all about money. He is admitting openly the thing that the rest of the establishment would call a conspiracy. Everybody else, oh, come on. Sure, it's all about money, and it's all about this military-industrial complex. Oh, what are you? What are you, a conspiracy theorist? What are you, Alex Jones or something? A military-industrial complex? Oh, please. Billions, hundreds of billions of dollars is linked with this story. Do you think they're going to let one dead journalist get in the way of a $110 billion deal? By the way, I've seen stories that say it's $300 billion because over a more extended period of time. But they're going to let one dead journalist get in the way of that? And he says it, hey man, if we don't sell them the weapons, then they're probably going to go to Russia, they're probably going to go to China. So why shouldn't we get the money in that instance? Think about the precedent that sets, guys. Think about the precedent that sets. Because then the question becomes, what can't Saudi Arabia get away with? So if you're not going to stop selling them weapons when they're massacring journalists, that's a green light to kill more journalists. That's what that is. Oh, you're going to not have any punishment after this? Okay. Open season on journalists, bitch. That's what it is. Open season on journalists. And then also, okay, so you're not going to punish them if they're assassinating journalists who report on what they're doing. It's almost like you also won't stop giving them weapons if they commit a genocide or something. That's exactly what's happening in Yemen. Saudi Arabia is carrying out a genocide in Yemen. Right now, as we speak. They're killing women, they're killing children, they're killing civilians left and right, they're bombing open-air markets and hospitals and mosques and schools. They're blockading the country and they won't allow in basic medicine. So there's a cholera outbreak there and millions of people are impacted by this. So think about it. They're doing a genocide. We're still arming them and funding them. They kill journalists. We're still arming them and funding them. And we're open about that. They are also arming Al-Qaeda and pushing Salafism around the world. So as we are arming them and funding them, they are backing the people who attacked us on 9/11. So think about it. There is nothing that Saudi Arabia could do where we would say, you know what? You crossed the line, son. So Donald Trump is acting as Saudi Arabia's puppet. He is the establishment's bitch boy. This is the guy who said, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to shake it up. Saudi Arabia is responsible for 9/11. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to overturn the apple cart. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to break up the system. You are serving the system, and you're doing it in a way that's even more subservient than previous administrations. Obama was bad, by the way. Funding, arming, propping up Saudi Arabia, same with Israel. But now Trump is doing the exact same shit. And if anything, going further, because he's even admitting out loud. Like, oh yeah, what are we going to do? We're going to pass up on this money? On the military-industrial complex, got to keep churning, baby. So, and by the way, you can never again claim to be tough on terror, just for the record, because Saudi Arabia are the terrorists. If you murder a journalist for reporting on what you're doing, that would be terrorism. It's an act of political violence. You're a terrorist. If you arm and prop up Al-Qaeda, you're a terrorist. If you're massacring women and children on purpose in Yemen, you're a terrorist. So now Trump is going to turn around and say, I'm the tough on terror guy. Law and order. Law and order. I'm the law and order administration. That's me. This is the opposite of that. You just gave them a green light to massacre as many journalists as they want. Scary, scary, scary situation.